man, and had to basically help out my family. We have some land out in the country in Texas here, and one of my uncles we're trying to clear out a lot of the stuff that build up and debris, and as far as like weeds and thorn bushes, all this kind of stuff, trying to clear all that out so that they can have a good deer hunting season. And so yeah, that's basically what it was Saturday, man. And tell you, man, that I haven't done stuff like that in a while. So shoulders a little sore, a little sore action going on. But man, it was fun. It was good being out there, and just going back to like old stomping grounds where that I used to hang out with my grandfather a lot. So it was just good to be out
Mm,
there, man. Um,
yeah.
but yeah, definitely had a good one there. And then Sunday, regular degular, uh, church, and then after church, um, just family, talking with them, and getting ready for this good old work week. How about yourself, man?
Yeah, man. It was a lot going on this week. Most of it was about church and they had different events going on and then also just you know, this is a very good time to reach out to prospects, at least in my
Yeah,
company.
yeah,
So I was just focusing on making sure I was reaching out and doing what I need to do from a work standpoint. But let me pause for a second. Let me get into it with our guests, our people that are watching us, y'all. Where you're tuning in from? I know this was a crazy one. Um, in regards to some of you guys probably didn't even know that we're going live, but we are going live. And so let us know where you're tuning in from. And also, we want to recap something that we happened to us a while ago. So if you did not know, we actually mentioned it about a couple weeks ago, maybe a month ago, but we are a part of the Alive Podcast Network with Angel Alivis and crew. And so, if you are not familiar with the Live Podcast Network, go ahead and go to a live podcast. You can actually check it out on your Apple devices or even other devices as well. It's an app that you could join and you're able to hear from other Black creators, people that are in the space doing unique things, whether it's Tamar Braxton and a few others. They are on that podcast network. So definitely check that out for yourself. And hope you enjoy what you're able to see there and subscribe. So we want to just make sure that we say that first because it's a great honor to be a part of something like that. So I
for
just wanted
sure.
to make sure I shut that out uh, before I was continuing about your weekend. But y'all, let us know how your weekend went in the comment section below. We want to know how it went, if it went good, if it went great, as we continue to go on with the show. But definitely let us know. Let us know. What do your cup say? Cup of cozy.
Uh, yeah, cup of cozy. Yeah. Just I just picked up a mug, man. I was like, you know what? Let me get some coffee this morning, and yeah, that was the one I picked up. Got a few different mugs over here, but that's one of my favorites, just
Listen,
because of the size.
I get it. Let's shift gears for a second. I just
Yeah.
thought about it. We never really kind of talked about it last week. You weren't on the show,
Ah,
um,
yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
I wanted I didn't want to like put your business out there, but I guess we could put it under the umbrella of fatherhood. How is fatherhood treating you right now, brother?
Oh, yeah, man. Yeah, that's exactly where we could put it. Yeah, I had to watch well, I had to get the baby to the babysitter um last Monday because my wife had to actually work last Monday. She works
Hmm.
3 days a week, so that most of the week she can actually be here with the baby. But uh unfortunately, that's she normally tries to keep Mondays out of the way so that for this reason right here, y'all. So but it happened to fall on it on Monday, and so yeah, I had to get her over there, and it's during that time, rush hour traffic, all that stuff. So I could have tuned in, but I couldn't have actually been on the show. But yeah, I appreciate the guests that we had last week, man. They killed it. But yeah, man, fatherhood is the reason that it's been good so far, man. I will say, a lot of the things that you hear when you're just like maybe not a father yet, right? For the last ten years, um as far as when they're babies like this, you're just kind of like on edge because you don't know. You're like, I don't know how it's gonna be, but I will say it's been pretty solid so far. She's uh, super good. It's like if she's hungry, hey, we can fix that. If she has a dirty diaper, we can fix that. If she's sleepy, we can fix that. And that's normally the only time something is going on. Outside of that, she's happy. She's, you know, chilling and growing. So yeah, it's been pretty solid so far, man. I'm enjoying this ride, enjoying the things that come with it. So just yeah.
Man, love it, love it. Oh, I got Darcel in the building. He said, "Good morning, fam.
Good
Good
morning. Good
morning.
morning.
Good morning. So glad that you're able to stop on by and, of course, be a part of what's going on, brother. We always appreciate you. We always appreciate the crew. So definitely let us know if y'all are tuning in this morning. Go ahead and put a good morning in the chat, and like always, we'll bring you up and acknowledge you and say good morning right back. But listen, man. In the meantime, we're gonna go on with the show. We're gonna go on with the
Meantime, in
show,
between
and
time.
in between time, we're going with the show. We're going to talk about a subject matter that's not necessarily tech related, but it will probably impact you, especially if you have experience working in the service industry. And so, with that being said, I'm going to pass over to my brother Trey to talk about what happened this week, or recently, I should say, when it
Yeah.
comes to this subject.
Recently. Yeah. So basically, guys, there was a student loan debt relief action going on this week. And yeah, like he said, it might not necessarily be about the tech industry, but you might have somebody in your household that may or may not have been, how can I put this, affected by it, maybe in a good way, or maybe not. I will say this, maybe not, right? But basically, President Joe Biden announced that he was going to, well, in the student loan forgiveness for public service workers, that he was going to relieve some debt. And here's what happened. So um, basically, it's an increase from the 7,000 people who were able to receive forgiveness before. Now they've updated it, and that was 2 years ago. For now, over 1 million people, 1 million public service workers were able to get forgiveness. So it's pretty cool, pretty good. So what basically happened was an additional $4.5 billion in student loan has been canceled for about 60,000 people, and that brings the total amount that they've basically spent in forgiveness to $73 billion, which is crazy. And there's a whole lot left, I'll tell you that. But basically, they made improvements to the program, so they got some new regulations to help borrowers earn more credits toward that uh, public service loan forgiveness program. It's PSLF. Okay, I'm gonna do that from now on if I have to say it again. But simplifying criteria for employment certification, they created fairer eligibility criteria, and they provided opportunities for reconsideration for people who were previously denied. So definitely try and get back in there if you could. Now, the debt relief program. Here's who it's benefited so far: teachers, firefighters, law enforcement officials, nurses, service members, and then other public service workers. So if you know somebody in any of those categories, they probably were able to get that thing done and get it canceled. Okay. But on average, it's roughly about $35,000 in student debt cancellation that has been done. So that's about the average that they're looking at there. Now, here's the broader like scope of it. Okay. So that the announcement last week, it focused on public service workers, but basically it's in part of a larger effort by the Biden administration to address student debt in a totality, right? So the administration has approved 175 billion in relief for nearly 5 million Americans through a bunch of different actions. But Biden's plan to cancel up to $20,000 for 40 million Americans, it was blocked by the Supreme Court last year. So they're like, hey, you can get some, but not all. You're not getting everything. Okay, it's not happening. So basically, y'all, a federal judge in Missouri recently put a temporary hold on Biden's latest student loan cancellation, and so they're trying to get that settled there. But here's the thing. Personally, here's some notes from me now. Since I got through that, I'm kind of torn on it. You know, like I'm glad that there's a lot of people who are getting the student loan debt kind of taken away and and relieved, which is great, right? So it's good news for some people, but then it's leaving millions of other people out in the cold. And the reason I'm torn is not because some got it and some didn't. I'm torn because when you go back in time and you look at why this stuff even started happening, here's what you'll find that President Biden himself actually played a role in making student loans harder to like get rid of through bankruptcy back in 2005. So like he was basically a part of the reason why it's so high now, and then he's trying to double back and cancel it up, and get them back down. But it's like, it didn't have to be like this in the first place. So it's it's one of those things for me. But here's the thing, y'all. It's good for some, but there's millions of others out in the cold. So while some folks are celebrating, millions are struggling. What y'all think about that? What y'all think about that?
Yeah, let us know what you think about that in the chat. Also, if you can, let us know if you know a public service person, somebody that is, oops,
He had to sneeze. I knew it. I knew
yeah,
it.
it was coming strong. But if you know a public service person that has received this debt relief in the past, or they just got notification that they are also receiving it now, let us know. Um, it probably might not be somebody you know, but if you do know somebody, let us know as well in the chat. But yeah, like going back to what you said, it's like almost trying to undo your wrongs,
Yeah.
and the consciousness starts to kicking in an election year, mind you, in an
Uh-huh.
election year. So I
Super
just thought that was
close.
very interesting as well. Like
Me too.
these things do happen timely, right?
Oh yeah.
But I think I guess my focus was on who this impacted, you know, that if public service people like my wife, she used to be a court reporter, so something like this would
Mm.
have probably impacted her. Thank you so much. We got Lil Min Jion 303 says great interview. Thank you so much. And definitely join the show again if you can, please. But yeah, it's definitely one of those. Um, Conversations because I was thinking about my wife. She used to be a court reporter, serve the public. So something like, oh, is this going to affect? Would this have affected her? Time will tell. We didn't get a
Ah,
notification yet, but there's
I
other
know,
people
right?
that I'm like, hey, if you serve in the public sphere, and you are impacted by this in a positive way, that's great. But we have to do a larger plan. We have to do a larger thing. That's why I appreciate stuff like certain programs and places where you have alternative education. We both did course careers, for example. There's
Mm-hmm.
so many different
Mm-hmm.
others out there as well, where if you have the skill that set that they're looking for, they'll hire you, and you're not gonna have to go into tons of debt for it.
Yeah.
For us, it was like what five less than $500. You know what I mean?
Literally.
And it
Literally.
changed our lives pretty much
Yeah.
in regards to like career wise where we were going. So there's so many
Yeah.
different things that people can do that I'm just like, hey, they need to get this
Try
system
that.
fixed out. I know, right? They need to get this system fixed out. But
Yeah.
there's an alternate out there that you can be able to do it for yourself to better yourself in the meantime.
Yeah. Because isn't that interesting? It's like a lot of people know that's the case, right? Like, yo, there's a lot of student loan debt that's going to come with you trying to go through the college system and going through that side. Um, it's gonna rack up. It has not normally on average paid off for the average American. Like as far as like, okay, hey, I got this degree. Now I'm gonna go out in the workforce, get a good paying job in this degree and progress forward. It hasn't really worked out the best for majority of average Americans. And so it's one of those things like, how long are we going to continue to, like you said, push people into that system that is kind of broken down right now, instead of these alternative routes? When we see like, okay, hey, this alternative route, not only did it give you a skill, it gave you some like experience. So now you can go straight to that job and tell them about that experience, about what you know, and get right in and go. So it's like, I don't know, man. Uh, college is still the go-to route, and part of me thinks is because um, who is over the school system as well, right? You don't you want you're not probably seeing them push people into alternative routes. College is the main platform there as well, so um, that also doesn't help. But I don't know. Oh, you might be muted or something. We can't hear you.
Struggling streaming today. Struggle streaming today.
Oh yeah, there you go.
I would say if y'all are actually using your degree that you went to college for, put it in the chat. Put yes in the chat. If you are in the field that you went to school for, put no in the chat. I want to see something. Reason being is because hey, listen, we need doctors, we need lawyers, we need people
Oh
that
yeah,
we need those individuals, engineers as well, that need to go to college and get a degree. But otherwise, I don't want you operating on me. But but besides that, though, like what really is needed, and this is a larger conversation. This is not our normal conversation, but we wanted to talk about it because this is a subject matter that affects so many people when it comes to going to college, getting student loans, getting pushed back in debt in such a way that it's hard, almost like it's like a mortgage. It
yeah,
takes
yeah.
time to get out of. Let's see what the comment section has here. We have Darcel in the
That's
building.
what
He
they're
said
saying.
some folks have been deferring or just not paying. The cost of living with the debt repayment payment gets hard for some. Can everyone get a clean slate?
I know,
Yes.
right? And you think like, yo, Biden would have some sort of like in his heart is like, you know what? I was a part of the reason why this is like this right now. I don't care what y'all say. I'm cleaning everybody's slate, everybody, and it's done. But he can't do that, right? So he has to try and do what he can, I guess. But a part of me thinks like, hey, maybe he feels a little bit of bad about what he did in the past, but maybe another part of me thinks no, he doesn't. And hey, we're gonna make this move right around this election so that it can look really good on the resume, for our side or for this side. So I don't know. We'll see. Now, what I will say though, Darcel, you're right, bro. Not just some, a whole lot. A whole lot of people have been deferring, and like deferring payments over these few years. And what's crazy is in looking into this student loan debt forgiveness, days before they actually no actually I'm sorry, at the beginning of this month, October 1st, they started back the student loan debt repayments, right? So everybody
Hmm.
who they had paused all these years during the pandemic, all that stuff, they started it back October 1st. So
Yeah.
that tell like this move tells you exactly how bad it was. Like probably nobody was paying in these 17, 18 days, and it was looking really bad. And so they had to do something really quick to try and make it look a little better. Because I can tell you, like literally, they started October 1st, and then by the 18th, hey, we put something in place to to eliminate a whole lot of people's stuff, because I'm sure, and they paused it again. I need to look that up, but I think they paused it again. So um, it tells you right there, it wasn't looking real good. Like nobody was paying them back since October 1st, and it's only been 21 days now. So it's bad, man. It's bad out there. And you're right, cost of living's gone up, and the student loan debt payment has gone up as well. So it's like something's got to give, and these people are like, you know what? Forget this student loan debt, forget this debt, man. I'm not paying that back. Uh, that's for the birds. So yeah, yeah, you're right, man.
Yeah, listen, I dropped a link for the show in the chat. If you want to call up and share your thoughts, your comments, your grievances about this, go ahead and do so. We're gonna keep the show moving, but definitely want to make sure that we hear from you because there's so much that could be said about this topic. And so, with that being said, we're gonna transition over to our segment within a segment, one of our segments we call the Bulletin Board. This is a segment that's powered by BlackTechGlobal.com, your premier directory for upcoming tech events. Definitely check it out. There's so many good stuff there on a daily basis. And I'm going to read it out just for time's sake and make sure that you could go there for yourself and check it out. But they have a lot of things happening right now in regards to the National Minority Supplier Development Council 24, October 20th, was yesterday, but it's all the way to the 23rd in Atlanta, Georgia. That vet is almost over $2,200. But check it out if that's in your sphere of if that makes sense for you, basically. We have the Mass Black Expo 24 in Boston, Mass for 100. Then we have an October 31st to November 2nd ITSMF Forward Progress Symposium in St. Louis, Missouri, $975 for that one. Then we have the November 2nd Smash Summit 24 in Raleigh, North Carolina. November 2nd Black Tech Saturday Meetup. That's happening. And then we're going to go all the way to the 6th of November with BFUTR Global Tech Summit in Toronto. That's going to be happening November 6th to the 7th. Like I said, November 8th, Accelerator, that's a long one.
Yeah.
Accelerator Con
So
24, New York City, New York. Then the Tech Fest Live Expo in Houston on November 8th. Connect is happening after the 9 to 5 mixer on November 8th in Dallas, Texas. And last, I'm going to stop here, but Afrotech is back the 13th to the 16th, and that's going to be in Houston, Texas, if you're not familiar. So definitely you want to get your tickets for that. Tickets start at least $450 for that, but you could definitely check out, see what you could get. There's discounts galore. Your job might be able to pay for it, depending on what the nature of your work. So definitely look
hmm
at that for more. And that's the rundown for Black Tech Global this week, your premier source for all tech events that may be of interest to you. There's other things that definitely are there that we want to make sure that you're aware of. So check it out. Check it out for yourself. There's so much going on, and there's so much information there. What do people love to do when they get there is to network, right? And some people try to
for
get
sure.
there to network for a job. so so if that is the case with you, that
Heard that last week.
yeah, yeah, we talked about it last week. We had a great conversation. If you haven't had with, we had two guests on the show, which is our friend Tech Coach Ralph, and we also had another guest before the Billions who stopped by to share his experience. Because what happened with him was he was actually laid off from his job, but he had a lot of things in place that we're going to talk about. He had savings, about 3 to 6 months worth of savings. He also was able to network within that time frame, and he built up himself as a keynote speaker, believe it or not, through networking and to meeting people and to just being a person that looked to provide value in different spaces. Hi Kim, how you doing? um, this is what happened with him. And the job that came to him, he said, and literally came to him, was somebody reached out to him because he was telling his story on social media. He was networking, he was going to these spaces, and they reached out to him, and it was like a top 15 company within the space that they operate in the industry. So look, it's a great example of, hey, you may be knocked down, you may be get laid off, but there's opportunities there. Unfortunately, we do have to talk about layoffs sometimes because it gives perspective on what's going on in the world, and that's exactly what we're going to be talking about right now with these
hmm
TikTok layoffs. We talked about it before, but we're going to talk about it again in regards to TikTok, just to kind of keep everybody abreast on what's going on. But basically, if you're not familiar, TikTok, the popular social media platform, it was, as we mentioned before, on my Byte Dance, has been implementing significant layoffs across the global workforce. Basically, in May of this year, approximately 150. They initiated rounds with approximately 150 employees from its operations and marketing team, and then the company plans on laying off around 1,000 employees globally. So that the layoffs are expected to impact multiple departments, not just marketing, but including operations, communications, and support. And so this basically was under the guise of, okay, you know, what's going on, what's shaking up here. So that was May. Now skipped forward to 2024, nearly 500 employees in Malaysia uh, are being laid off, and again, it's around that group of people. But the reason why that a lot of people are looking and raising their eyebrows, which a lot of companies are
Yeah.
doing, is the AI integration. So TikTok is moving towards using AI for content moderation, replacing human moderators with cheaper AI tools or cost-effective ones. Um, so it's all about cutting costs, about restructuring, about regulatory pressures and industry trends that they're trying to meet with. Because here's the thing: if you're a company and you're not using AI, what are you doing right now? Like if you're not exploring
Hmm.
it, at least if you're not trying to find ways to help it to expedite work, cut costs, and things of that nature, what are you doing? So there's that pull and tug towards AI. And so, despite the layoffs, TikTok plans to invest about 2 billion globally in trust and safety efforts in 2025, and the company is focusing on improving the efficiency of its content moderation, with 80% of volatile content now removed by automated technology. So back in the day, it used to be a person moderating that. Now it's AI. So I wanted to pause here to get everybody's thoughts on that because we always talk about AI integration, how it's going to be affecting business, and it's affecting the workforce. Uh, Tasks that last week we talked about it too. There are some people that are like in Atlanta. If you go to the mall, they're talking about these different Tesla models that are coming out and these different humanoids. That already started in certain places, including Atlanta, where it takes your order for you. So, what are your thoughts? I'm going to pause here and let you guys speak.
Well, what's taking your orders in Atlanta?
I think he was saying that it was like a humanoid robot that was there,
Oh, got
um,
you. Oh, okay.
and
Oh,
it,
yeah,
it
that's
just like
crazy.
kind of and it turns and if I find the video, I'll share it right now. Actually,
Yeah, yeah, that's
Right.
wild. I know. What was that? I went to Panda Express recently, and their whole, which they've been doing it for a while in different restaurants, but the whole order, sometimes, at some places it was like, hey, the beginning of the order is some kind of AI or some kind of voice, and then the real person pops up. But Panda Express took my whole order, and I don't know how long they've been doing it because it's been a while since I had been there. But I was just like, oh, this is crazy. So yeah, I could see that. I could definitely see that happening. And then you throw in the whole humanoid aspect of it. It's like, it's going to put in a whole lot. But yeah, man, this is crazy. It's one of those things. I did want to ask. You mentioned earlier, your wife, she used to work in the courtroom. Is that the person who like is typing up all the stuff
Stenographer.
that's happening? Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So what about roles like that? Like in my mind, um, that's like gone. It,
Yeah.
like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it depends because the government, as we know, they're very slow to adopt things, right? Some of the processes that she used to explain to me, I was like, they still do that?
Yeah,
Might as well get
yeah.
the typewriter out. But they're very
Basically.
slow to, to adopt things. And so for certain people, especially in government, the jobs I think will be a lot safer for a period of time more than the general public, just because of the fear of the unknown. So I think if you
Gotcha.
were looking to be a stenographer, you're definitely good, especially New York, where she's from. You're definitely good for a couple of years, compared
Oh,
to
well,
other industries.
shoes, man. If I was because I think there's a certain thing. I think I saw a role where they do that, like they're not even in the courtroom. It's like they're listening as it
Yeah,
goes on, or maybe listening to a playback of what went on, and then they're
yeah.
typing it up. Like, bruh, AI all day. I'm talking about. I'm in that thing kick. I'm in that thing kick back. Boy, how is Trey going through all these court recordings so fast? Yeah, buddy. Throw that thing through the AI, get the whole transcript. Then I tell another AI, hey, this is how I want it formatted. However, because I know they got probably certain formats that they want to do. And then you put it through another, Grammarly or something like, hey, any misspelled words, get it done. And I'm in the chair like this,
Sipping your coffee.
just kick back, man. Yeah, but so even though the government is taking a long time to use it, I'm not. I'd be on it. But yeah, that's crazy. Okay, okay. That's wild. Oh, you
Yeah,
kind of
yeah,
you
and I
kind of
think it has
froze
to
up
do a
there.
lot
Oh,
with
there you go.
I think it has to do a lot with the legal side of things. You know,
I
just kind of
see.
because you know
Yeah.
if you're in a courtroom, you
Yeah,
have these
that's
legal
true.
documents. So that's what
That's
they're trying to
true.
avoid. But I definitely hear your point. Like if you could find a safe way to get your job more efficiently done, then by
Like,
all means.
yeah,
Uh, I
offline.
I had to go to LinkedIn real quickly because it didn't show me here. It says exactly see the ripples in the private sector first. And thank you, Ian. We got Ian in the building. So glad that you're able to stop
What up?
by
What up?
and share your thoughts on this. Yeah, Ian in the building. So much, so appreciate you, man. Thank you so much for doing this. It says Lincoln user here, but I want to double check to see who it was. So
Yeah.
yeah, but it's true. Private sector first, and then the mass adoption, right? And then
Yeah.
later on, the government like, okay, this thing might be all right, you know, and then
Yeah.
then they take it on. So
Yeah, they'll probably, hey, which probably is more money for the companies, right? Like if you could have their own, like you said, it's stuff that has to be protected. So they might make these companies have their own government side of stuff, just like literally, only the government stuff is on there kind of deal. But yeah, I hear you on that. But it definitely starts private first. But it's one of those things. It's one of those things. As far as this layoff though, yeah, what's going on, Mitch?
welcome, Mitch.
Uh,
Always
yeah,
new here.
yeah, always good to have new people in the building for sure. But yeah, bro, it's one of those things. Like as time goes on, obviously companies like TikTok are like, you know what, I, we don't care about we don't care about this. We know how safe it is. We're gonna go ahead and use it, and basically probably at a I don't know what percentage of the cost it would be, but I know it's like significantly low, you know. So who knows how much money they saved? I'm sure they could tell us, but you know, they saved a lot of money by going this route. So,
Hey, and it gives them a competitive advantage in the long run because you use that
oh
money
yeah,
to do other stuff in the and other initiatives in the company. Like they said, they're looking to go ahead and try to push it even further in regards to the safety and other areas that they need that money in. Because I mean, I had a
mm,
conversation with somebody yesterday, and they're like, "Oh, TikTok and security," da, 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 da." And I mean, you know, that's what's been the narrative for a while. So now,
yeah,
and that's the thing that a lot of people miss out too. What AI allows for companies to do is now to say, "Okay, we save money here. Where do we need this money to go?" And that is a competitive advantage that AI provides
yeah,
is it cuts costs, helps you to save money. It fixed you could now retool your budget to do X, Y, and Z in a place that you needed it to do for a while, but didn't have the money to do it. So so that's the play that I'm seeing a lot from my neck of the woods. And I just wanted to kind of also tap into this because we're talking about jobs, but I also wanted to kind of talk about something else as well alongside of this subject line, which is the tech job market. Because we're looking at
mm,
TikTok, they're a technology company basically, software, right? And so it's like, okay, if they're getting if their layoffs happening with them, is that affecting everybody else? And so when I did some research, it basically says that actually in October 2024, they actually show signs of recovery and growth in this area. So the tech industry experienced a rebound in job opportunities versus a loss. And there are over like 200,000 open tech jobs at startups, unicorns, and public tech companies, representing about an 18% increase since the beginning of 2024, which is significant. You know,
they're
CompTIA
not
even
gonna talk
report.
about that.
I know, right? So it's always good to talk about this because I'm like people are like, oh no, the tech industry. But listen, it goes ups and downs. But if you are watching, things do take a it does have a resurgence for sure.
Yeah,
Resurgence for sure. And so, like for example, CompTIA reports that tech companies added more than 8,500 new workers last month, which while tech position throughout the economy has increased by 118,000. So definitely need to look into that for sure for yourself. Even the employment rate in the tech industry decreased by 2.5%. So, you know, but here's the thing: we talked about AI. Job openings in AI have increased by 32% year over year.
mm,
That tells you something right there. Like if you're not looking into the space, you got to look into the space. 32% year over year. That's significant. And cybersecurity as well. We know that's a big hot topic.
huge.
Cloud computing as well. So these are the three areas that I would say if you know, this is my humble opinion, if you are looking to make a transition within the space, AI, cybersecurity, cloud computing. In fact, there are even companies that will allow you to freelance it. Like my sister-in-law, she works for a company, and she basically, as is the terminology, is stay-at-home mom, right? She's
Yeah.
stay-at-home mom, but she is put it whenever she puts in time, she puts in time, and it actually equates to the amount of money that she was making when she was working,
Oh,
which
snap.
is crazy. I mean, she got to take
Oh,
out
snap.
taxes herself,
Well, yeah.
but that's a whole different ball game right there. So definitely look into that. Like Rich said it here. He said, "Yep, cloud computing. That's something that
Yeah.
we need to talk about more." So if anybody has any experience about cloud computing, let's bring that up. We talk about AI, we talk about cybersecurity, but cloud computing, I think there's so many different areas of growth. And this is actually from the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics. They said that the data scientists, so you gotta like this one, Mitch. Data scientists, 36% growth, much faster than average. They talked about information security analysts, 33% growth. Software
Mm.
developers, QA analysts. Where's our friend Techo Ralph at? QA analysts and testers, 17% growth. I heard years ago that QA was going out, and look at that. It's
Mm.
like we're back,
Mm.
baby. You know,
See,
welcome
you
back.
can't exactly. You can't always listen to it, or you just have to stay. Stay in the fort, man. If because also you got to think about it. Okay, if all the news is going out that such and such is going down, or it's not, then that means a lot of people may be dropping out. And like, you know what? Well, I'm gonna turn and go in a different direction. Well, that leaves it a little bit open for you if you stay diligent, if you stay in the game. Um, but like you mentioned though, as far as those three spaces, like don't forget, y'all, a
Hmm.
lot of the companies, if you're into that kind of stuff, right? Like for instance, AI. Like, oh, if you're into AI, like just realize a lot of those are actually companies that you can go to their website, go to careers, and get a job in one of those companies that you always use, or
Yep.
you're always looking into and looking at. Like, don't forget they also hire as well. Sometimes I know how it is. Sometimes you can be so like uh I don't know, maybe out of it that you don't think about like, oh wait, even though I'm using this as a service, this is an actual company that they do have openings. I'm not saying you're going to be able to just easily walk into a Netflix or something like that, but a lot of these other software companies and things like that, like you might be using those on a weekly basis or something. Go to their website, go check them out, see if they have any openings. They probably do.
And also, we always preach it: network, network, network. Find somebody that
Yeah.
works there, learn more about the company, have genuine conversations, provide value, and say, "Hey, do they have a referral program here?" And then from there, you can find your way to get to where you want to go. So that's what we were talking about in regards to the tech jobs and the recent layoffs with TikTok. If you have any other thoughts, feel free to put it in the comment section. I'll put this up again. Nah, data science is not my thing, which says that's for them other people. And
Yeah.
so that
We know
no
who you're
harm, no
talking
foul
about.
there. No harm, no foul there. But yeah, let us know what it is in regards to that. If you have any sort of thoughts or interests, we definitely want to hear from you. And I definitely skipped over something. I went into two subjects in one by accident. I didn't realize I did that, brother. But we can definitely talk more about it, or we can just keep going on. What are your thoughts? That's my bad.
Uh, I didn't know what you skipped over. What did you skip over?
Oh, no, I just took yours by
Did
accident. I
you?
got yeah, I didn't even know I did. I got so excited and I
Oh, I'm joking. It's all good, bro. Yes, I wasn't going. I'm not going. Hey, that's my. You know me, man. We're gonna keep this show rolling. It's all good.
yeah, keep
We'll keep
it
talking about because
rolling.
I wonder. I did want to know what do y'all think? Like, do you think some of these numbers are like, even though it's coming from uh the labor what is it, labor statistics of what is it,
Oh,
I
you're
don't
talking
know.
about the U.S. Borough? You're talking about the U.S. Borough of
Yeah.
yep. I'll pull it
Yeah,
up for
so
you.
like some a part of me is like, man,
The U.S.
anytime it's
Bureau of
like
Labor
a
Statistics.
yeah, it's like anytime it's like a, I don't know, election year, and then it gets closer to that month or the month when they're actually making those decisions. I just feel like stuff be it's like it gets skewed a little bit, and it like sheds a different light than maybe it's supposed to, and
Mm-hmm.
then it's like it gets the people excited, but really it may actually be a little bit different, or it might be better or worse depending on what it is. And then after the election happens, then it's like, oh, this is the real stuff. You know what I mean? Yeah, exactly, Mitch. Mitch said, men lie, women lie, numbers manipulate. That's right. That's right. That's right.
And he said before they said, "Nah, they are inflated. I don't believe it at all." Well, actually, that's a
Yeah,
good
there you
question.
go.
That's a
There
good
you
question,
go.
yo.
Yeah,
Uh,
man. I don't know. It's just at first I was like, man, it's just me. That's why I never really said. I don't really talk about it like that. But it's like, I don't know, man. I don't know about none of this stuff y'all talking about until until it's over, because they just be talking, man.
and honestly, we gotta keep timing into consideration. It's an election year, so everything is
Yeah,
gonna
because
be. Go ahead.
even when you think about like the timing of the canceled loans, right? Like it's just like, ah. How you just all of a sudden get it done like that? Wow. 18 days after y'all opened it up, right? It's like, okay, student loans back in action, no more deferment. Like, hey, we about to kick this thing off. And then the slow trickle in of payments. All right, let's go ahead and release the debt and get it done. And it's like, how'd you get that done so fast? I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, me neither. But what I could say is that timing is everything in business. So and
Hmm.
government is business too, big business.
Oh, that's a fact. They better believe y'all do realize it's not a part of that state. What is it?
Mm,
Pennsylvania Avenue? That's its own little entity over there. Okay? The US government is a business.
yeah, it's a big business, big business. Oh man. Well, listen, y'all, go ahead and let us know your thoughts about the subject. I even dropped a link in there earlier if you want to call into the chat and share your thoughts or grievances about any of the topics that we talked about today. But I'll drop it one more time for you. And this is mainly if you're on the YouTube, you get able to join us here. And just in case you're talking about what link I'm talking about is right here. You go click here to call into the show. Let us know your thoughts, and we could definitely bring you up, and you could definitely share it. You don't have to show your you don't show your face, but you can share your thoughts and definitely share. But we're gonna actually go through the last segment that we normally do as you're thinking about what topic you want to talk about. And I'm gonna let you read it because I took your thunder. If that's cool. But this is the last one that we had for today. This is our brown box special. So if you're not familiar with this brown box special, this is a time where we share stories of people that either had quit their job, got laid off, unfortunately, or fired, in order for us to not only sometimes laugh, sometimes cry, sometimes get angry, but just a therapeutic moment for us all as we either have experienced it or know somebody who has experienced a layoff of some sort. All right, but with that being said, I'm going to pass the torch to you, brother. I'm going to let you read this story for today, and then
Yeah.
we'll see what the audience says.
Yeah, man. Goes right on along with what we were talking about today, right? Says, I worked at a company that was going through layoffs. I was in HR, sitting next to the girl who checked the anonymous HR tip lines, aka a third party company that employees could call without being identified to report HR issues. Turns out a manager had been feeling down about the layoffs and decided his team needed a morale boost. He piled them all in a company van and took them to a strip club, including two women. The women said they were uncomfortable and wanted to leave. He said, find your own ride home. This was literally one day after the sexual harassment training was completed. So it's like
That's crazy.
somebody wasn't paying attention in the class.
Wow. Find your own ride home. But boss, you brought us
Yeah.
here in the company van. They can see this
Come
the
on, man.
logo on the van. They know where we're
Yeah,
from.
you definitely getting excommunicado. Excommunicado.
Excommunicado. Indeed. Oh, or Reese is in the building. Good morning, Maurice.
Hey,
I came on late. No worries, you're here. That's what
good morning.
matters. You're
Yeah,
here. Man, that story is crazy.
better late than never.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that story
man.
is crazy.
Yeah, you out of there, bro. Like, how did you think that was a good idea? On company time, probably.
Oh my goodness. Like of all places, that's
Yeah.
what you choose to do.
Like
Um,
bro, it's so many other ways that you can or other things that you can do to boost team morale. Like literally, they could have went to a park, smoked some good old hot links and burgers, like and just had a good time at the park. It's like it's bro, I could run down a whole list and you skip to that one. Like well, what? What?
and in the company van of all things, and then you tell the ladies that feel uncomfortable, go get your own ride. Like
Yeah,
that is wild.
a part of me thinks he didn't even tell them where they were going. Hey, y'all, we going somewhere special, man. Yeah, I got something special for y'all. Just get in the van, and I'm gonna take y'all to some place that's real special. Don't even worry about it. We're gonna have a great time.
And they show
Then
up and they're like, "What?"
bro, bro. First, but I will say this.
Oh my
Uh, what he couldn't do is make them get out of the car. So, you know, um, and that's anybody, because I'm sure there was some men who probably felt uncomfortable as well, but they just didn't say it. Like the women probably called the hotline, but you also didn't have to get out of the car. Um, you could have just stayed in the car and then went live. You could have stayed in the car and made a whole text story, just
true,
complaining about what just happened, and that could have went viral. I
true.
mean, there's a whole bunch of stuff you could have did, instead of actually going into the establishment. But
Maybe
you
they
know,
wanted the wings. I don't know. It depends on the one they went to. They probably the
that's
food was
what
the
that
food's good.
what
The
is
food's
that?
good.
Somebody, the Lou Williams
Yeah,
lemon pepper wings. That's what they was talking about a few years ago.
yeah. The wings probably were really good. So like, you know what? I'll just stay for the wings. But after that, I'm not feeling comfortable anymore. I can't handle it. I'm out.
I mean,
Go get your own
sometimes
ride.
that's how it is. That's cold as ice, man.
Yeah, at least pay for it. You brought them there. He's like, he kidnapped us. He took us to get some lemon pepper wings, and he left us there. Like it, yeah, that's terrible. That's bad. He, Mitch said, "What wings?" He doesn't know about them wings. Lemon pepper wings.
Look, I
Uh,
don't know how they taste, but they were talking about them so much. I
yeah.
definitely have heard about them.
During the bubble, the NBA
Yeah,
had some players stay in the bubble, which was Disney World at the time. In case somebody doesn't know, and there was a basketball player named Lou Williams who was not. I think he left because of the bubble. He left the bubble because of either a family emergency or something that happened.
yeah.
And since he was
It
out,
was.
he was like, might as well get some of these wings. And it happened that these wings that he loves to get were from a famous uh, gentleman's club, let's call it that, a famous gentleman's club in his area, which violated protocol when it came to staying COVID free and staying away from the public. So he got his wings and he got a fine, I believe,
Oh yeah,
uh, for doing that.
bro.
But
And
I'll just say that for other people who did not know the story about
that
Lou.
other side of that, bro. I was watching I don't think it was his podcast or he was on a podcast, but he said that he actually wouldn't have even got caught if it wasn't for another superstar being in the building, and they took a picture. I can't remember who it was,
Yes,
right now, but
yes.
he ended up taking a picture with him and they posted it.
Yeah, I even think he said like I think he even said in that video, like don't post it or something like that. I think he even told the guy like, "Nah,"
Dang,
and it got out. It was funny though, because the
cold as
guy
ice.
was very apologetic after. Like, I didn't know. I'm sorry, but it was man, it
It
was
is what
something
it
else.
is.
It is what it is. Listen, yeah. He says, Joe, take talking like a politician. Well, listen, I'm just trying to be in the middle here, just trying to be safe, on these YouTube
Yeah, man.
streets where they quick to cut you off. But yeah, but thank you so much, y'all, for rocking with us. This was a fun show. Again, this was struggle streaming for me, but it was a fun show nonetheless, and I do
Oh
appreciate
yeah.
you all for rocking with us as usual. If you have not heard early in the show, we are actually part of a larger network now called the uh,
A
called the
live
Live
network.
Podcast Network. Yes. And so if you're not familiar with the Live Podcast Network, go ahead and look it up on your app store. Check it out. There's also other creators there, Tamar Braxton, a few others that you may know of that are part of this network now. So you definitely want to check it out for yourself and subscribe. Subscribe. It doesn't take too much for you to subscribe. You go ahead and subscribe and let us know your thoughts on it and reviews. But we're on that network as well. So we're trying to move on up here, y'all. We're trying to move on up. So I
Big
appreciate y'all.
Jefferson, big Jefferson
Moving
energy. You
on up.
know?
Yeah. To the side. So people are
Yes,
like,
indeed.
what? I don't even know that song. Uh you'd be surprised how much stuff people don't know. And I'm like, man,
Listen, man.
I'm starting to feel old now. I'm starting to really feel old my age.
Listen,
Uh
man. I don't know. So I mean, some stuff I don't even necessarily. I'm not supposed to know about it, but I know it. You know, like
yeah.
I wasn't around when it was out, but yeah, I went back and watched it. I need to know what were they putting on TV for us back in the day. You know, so yeah,
Yeah.
227, the Jeffersons,
Come on now. Finally
all
got
of
a
them,
piece
man.
of the pie.
Yeah,
Oh man.
finally,
Mitch said, "Y'all going global." Well, we're getting there. We're getting there. One step at a
slowly but
time.
surely. Exactly.
One step at a time. But y'all, thank you so much for rocking with us. We definitely
Yeah.
appreciate it as always. And yo, listen, if you are not subscribed, you see the ticker below. Go to youtube.com/at Tech These Tips. That's youtube.com/at Tech These Tips and subscribe to the show. But y'all forgot to put the music on before, but I'm gonna put it on now. Thank you for rocking with us on Talk That Tech, the
#1 tech morning show in the world. We're gonna see y'all next week, man.
Peace and elbow grease.